like I did.
Yeah. Scott Pettis is with us. He is the pastor at First Presbyterian Church. And at the church, you have completed the first year of a Christian academy.
Yep.
And I worked hard to make sure I pronounce it correctly. Paideia Christian Academy.
Yep.
Did I get it right?
You got it right on.
I got it right. And that's what we wanted to talk about today. And we'll start out just the basic question. What is the Paideia Christian Academy? What age group is this academy for?
So this year we started out with 5th through 12th grade.
Okay.
We had students in our classroom from 5th to 7th. That's the in-person learning with our teachers. And then our 9th through 12th program is a nationwide classical Christian education delivered online from Moscow, Idaho. Live teachers, live classroom, Zoom classroom. And so we had students in both of those programs this year.
Okay, so you had in-person instruction for the younger grades.
For the younger grades.
And then the older grades was the online.
Right.
Did the students come and meet at the school to do the online?
Yeah, our online students are actually there physically together in a room together. They're online in each one of their classes, and then their classes all end at noon, and then they spend the afternoon together doing their work together physically there with the assistance of myself and the other teacher.
Okay, so you have two teachers that this past school year, right?
Correct. Yes.
In person.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's your other teacher?
Nora White, my sister-in-law. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the two of us knocking it out. So
did you convince her to come and work?
I did.
Okay. Or did she say to you, "You're doing this"?
No, I convinced her. I convinced her. I think I'll say the Lord convinced her.
Well, good.
So it was great.
So now. So this is a school, then, if the students are in this school, they're not in any other school or in the public school or anything like that?
Not right now, no. We did the public school was gracious enough to allow us for next year's school period to allow the students to dual enroll for extracurriculars. So our students next year will attend school all day with us, and then 7th period go do athletics, or if they do band or whatever extracurriculars they sign up for.
Okay. So how would you describe the parent that wants to have their child in this academy as opposed to other, like the public schools or something? What's the goal here to attend the Paideia Christian Academy?
What I'd like to say is this: is what is the purpose of it? So that parents understand what we're doing here. First off, this is not an attack on any public school education or anything to that nature. What we're trying to do is build an alternative. Everything has alternatives. The reason we started this is our own children. Our children don't fit the model of public school education. They don't fit the larger classrooms. They need accommodations in order to make education work for them. And so that's a lot of what our students are right now, students that just can't fit the standard mold and need a little bit extra help, or they're accelerating. So we don't hold a kid. So if we have a child that's in 7th grade, but they're reading at an 8th or 10th, 9th grade level, we move them up into that, and we fit and mold the education for each student so that they can either catch up or accelerate at their own pace.
Okay. And then the curriculum, what is the curriculum, or what is it based on, or where does it, where do you get
So our curriculum is a continuous curriculum from 1st grade all the way through 12th grade. So as we start to expand the school, that curriculum is continuous, and it's developed all as one. The curriculum comes out of Moscow, Idaho, where the classical Christian education movement started in 1980 under Pastor Douglas Wilson. That school has been in development and expansion since that time. So we take their curriculum, we buy it directly from them, the books, the daily schedules, the plans, everything that they have, we take it from them and we recreate it here. And that allows our students, as we prepare them to move into that high school experience with their school online, our students are going to be ready for that level of learning, because it is a very rigorous high school model.
Wow. So how is the online learning what was the experience that your school had this past year? Because there's been a lot of research and discussion and review of the COVID years, where everybody was remote learning, and there's been a lot of concern that the remote learning was not the best model for education. So how does that work out with your academy for the high school students that are basically online learning?
Right. So we've been doing online learning prior to COVID. So my daughter started in 9th grade the year prior to COVID ever happening. And so her learning's been uninterrupted. It has not changed. So our model is no different than how everyone started doing their board meetings and everything else through Zoom. We were doing that well before. So each student logs into their class at 8 a.m. She logs into mathematics. She's there for 50 minutes, a live interaction with the teacher, the other students. They're having class together. She's having class with kids from Durban, South Africa, from Canada, from all over the world, South America. These kids are all coming together and experiencing life and schooling together. And then they're required afterwards to go do all the work on the back end. It's a university model, just as if you would go to class. You get your lectures, you get your directions, you get your assignments, and then you're responsible for going and completing those later in the day. And so that's the model. So this model's been tried and true now for, I want to say 6 years, 7 years, so well before COVID, and they've mastered it. I'm going to tell you, they hire some of the highest quality teachers that I've ever seen. Their teachers are massively involved in these kids' lives, even though they're remote. I get phone calls from teachers, hey, your child's struggling here. You need to know this, and let's work together to fix this. And so it's been impressive.
Well, I guess this model's kind of been used by community colleges and universities. I mean, Eastern has had remote learning classes for years, and other universities have.
I think COVID gave us all bad taste for remote learning, because institutions that were not prepared or ready for it were forced to do it, and they didn't understand the whole model. But you're right. I finished my bachelor's online. I got my master's. I went to seminary. I had my entire master's degree online. And had great experience with it, and it helped. That way I could do the work when it fit me, and so that model's existed for a long time, and I believe it does work, and it is a productive model.
Sure, because it makes it possible for a school to have access to really good instructors, professors, without having to pay them to be here and move here and do all of that. But so this will continue into year 2. So will it still be grades 5 through 12 in year 2, or are you going to expand that a little bit?
We are open to 1st through 12th. But the situation is, and we have to get enough students within each grade grouping. So we group 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and then our high school. We got to get enough students in each grouping in order to obviously hire a teacher for that grouping. So we're allowing the Lord to work as He will, and in His own time, build this up. Right now all our students from last year are coming back, and so we're excited for that. And next Thursday night, June 9th, 6:30 at the Presbyterian Church, we are having let's call it an open house registration night. So I'll be speaking that night, discussing the benefits of a classical Christian education and where we're going with things. And registration's open for the rest of the summer. So we're looking to grow.
Okay. I have to ask this question.
I know it's coming.
How much does it cost to have a student attend a classical academy this year?
What we're trying to do is keep it in a reasonable range. It's never cheap. We have to pay teachers.
Right.
We have to pay the electric and everything else. So what we shot for next year is for next year's enrollment is $5,500 plus $300 in fees, so $5,800. Now, I can I say I can keep it there for the following year after that? I really can't for new enrollees. But what we do is promise our families, once you enroll, you stay with us. I'm not changing your tuition from there on out. The following year, it might go up for new enrollees that next year. And I got to meet inflation just like any other business.
Sure.
But I looked at that. What I did is look at all the state or private institutions across New Mexico. There's 64 private schools registered in New Mexico, and I looked at the median cost. And I'm right in the middle, maybe right at the top of the bottom third in cost. So we're trying to stick there as best we can. We try to meet the town's needs. And we're always looking for people who want to scholarship other kids. I've got a lot of parents come to me. I'd love to do this, but man, it's costly. Mm-hmm. And all education is costly.
Sure.
Even most of us don't see the cost that's going into per student at the state or in the public schools.
When you pay that property tax bill, or when you look at your mortgage and you see what the property tax part of it is, that's part of it there. Yeah. So, well, that's pretty exciting. What's been the reaction to that first year? How did the in keeping with the curriculum, did the students in Artesia, did they achieve pretty good success through that first year?
Our high schoolers found it a strenuous education. It is tough. Mm-hmm. It is hard. But I think our middle schoolers, they thrived in it. They loved the material. So the injection of logic and Latin into a middle schooler's life when they start, I start teaching them Latin and logic. They were quite surprised. It was something new. It was completely off what they've learned before, mm-hmm. and so it was quite exciting. And so it's been a really good reaction and a lot of growth in our students this year.
So who is the ideal student? What parent of a child needs to really consider a Christian academy and would be a prime candidate to benefit from having their students attend?
I think any parent. Of course, at this point right now, it's like I said, we have a number of students that just the current restrictions of what public education has to be, they don't fit the mold. So I say if your child's struggling in there, we also had a number of parents who had already decided to homeschool, mm-hmm. but they found out quickly, like myself, that not every family is equipped to homeschool, and it doesn't necessarily work with their lifestyle. So I think that family, and then I think the biggest thing is any Christian family looking to have their education Christ-centric, focused on Christ. We don't do mathematics without speaking of the creator of mathematics. We look at history through Christ's action within the church and how it's moved all of history. So I think the family that wants their education to be Christ-centric, that's our target. That's who we're looking for.
So you have the open house. It's June 9th, mm-hmm. which is, I think you said, next Thursday, a week from tonight.
Right, a week from tonight.
And it'll be at the Presbyterian Church.
Yep.
And what will the time?
6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m. So if you have any interest in this, or if you want to wait, or if you want to call before next Thursday, they can reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Check us out on Facebook, just Paideia Christian Academy. That's Paideia, Paideia. Find us on Facebook, and our phone number and everything's on there. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
No, that's fine.
I should have thought of that. But
no, that's okay.
Yeah.
Or come to the open house a week from tonight, 6:30 at First Presbyterian.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're out of time. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries.
We'll have you back again.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Scott joining us. That's